president.
Let's cut out the middleman. Why should I debate Donald Trump's puppet when I could debate Donald Trump himself? If Donald Trump is serious about this, he should come to New York City. We can have as many debates as he wants about why he is cutting SNAP benefits for hungry New Yorkers just to fund tax cuts for his billionaire donors.
I would watch that.
It'd be great TV.
I don't care about who we will face in November. We'll beat them all. It's the question of how we can actually stand up for this city and the fact that I'm here talking about other Democrats. I mean, what do these people actually stand for besides power? That's the question that I have for them.
If you're not the strongest candidate, step aside.
Andrew Cuomo may have lost the Democratic primary to Zohran Mamdani by 13 points, but he still thinks he has the best chance of beating him in November. And that's why he wants Eric Adams and Curtis Sliwa to exit stage left.
Mr. Mamdani is not supported by the majority of New Yorkers. There have been 4,782 polls taken in this race, metaphorically. Every poll shows he's at about 40%. No poll has said a majority of New Yorkers support him.
The idea of a two-man race first surfaced after CBS News New York learned that the White House and President Trump have been exploring possible job offers to Adams and Sliwa. Cuomo insists he had nothing to do with that and would never accept a Trump endorsement. But that didn't stop him from trying to up the ante, challenging the Queen's Assemblyman and only him to a series of debates.
I challenge him to 5 debates, 1 in every borough, where we speak about the issues in that borough.
I asked Mamdani about the Cuomo challenge, and he responded with one of his own.
Let's cut out the middleman. Why should I debate Donald Trump's puppet when I could debate Donald Trump himself? If Donald Trump is serious about this, he should come to New York City. We can have as many debates as he wants about why he is cutting SNAP benefits for hungry New Yorkers just to fund tax cuts for his billionaire donors.
At this point, it's not likely that the other candidates are ready to call it quits. A spokesman for Adams saying, quote, Andrew Cuomo already spent $25 million in the primary and still lost by double digits. If polls told the true story, he would be on the Democratic ballot today. It's time for him to step aside. Mayor Adams is focused on delivering for New Yorkers and remains the strongest candidate to defeat Zohran Mamdani in November.
Absolutely no way, under no circumstance. You can't bribe me, you can't lease me, you can't rent me, you can't motivate me to lead this race. I am running as the Republican candidate.
Nevertheless, I'm not sure we've heard the last of President Trump's involvement in the race. Businessman John Catsimatidis, who spoke to the president a few days ago, is predicting that something will happen before this month is out. So
that's something likely not a...
The Democratic Party has got to get their shit together. This is an incredible moment for our country. The approval ratings for the Democratic Party are in the gutter, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out why this is happening. And we can look no further than the New York mayoral race, where you have a Democrat, Eric Adams, a Democrat, Andrew Cuomo, a Democrat, Zohran Mamdani. And Zohran is having to fight Democrats after the Democratic primary is finished. He won. He dunked on everybody in the Democratic primary, and he's having to still fight people within their party because they're so entitled and they're so MAGA-esque that they are now running as independents. When the voters of New York have spoken in a very Trumpian way, segments of the Democratic Party just behave like MAGA light. So it will surprise no one that now Trump is trying to get Eric Adams out of the race. And the Politico is reporting that New York City Mayor Eric Adams faces a decision, a Trump administration post to drop his reelection campaign. Apparently, they've offered him a role in the MAGA government because what they're trying to do is get Eric Adams out so that it's a two-man race, so Zohran will run against Cuomo. And this is breathtaking considering the Democratic primary has already happened. And he didn't kind of win. He kicked their bloody asses all over the electorate. He is wildly popular. People like this message, and he is not beholden or corrupt like these MAGA politicians are, these MAGA light politicians like Cuomo, who's beholden to Israel, like Eric Adams, who's as corrupt as all get out. And now here's a quote. Here is a video of Mamdani, who rarely goes negative, talking about what he's up against.
Care about who we will face in November, we'll beat them all. It's the question of how we can actually stand up for this city, and the fact that I'm here talking about other Democrats. I mean, what do these people actually stand for besides power? That's the question that I have.
Pumps?
Okay, two things. Why does Donald Trump want Andrew Cuomo to be the mayor of New York City so bad? I think that's the question you have to ask yourself. And Eric Adams already sold New York City out to Donald Trump because he had a criminal conviction. And now he wants Cuomo. So that's a red flag in my book. And the Democratic establishment, I feel like they're going to keep us from fighting the way we should against MAGA and these Republican policies.
It's New York City, right? Like life is tough. Like things are crowded. Things are expensive. Like there's a lot of reasons for that. But then on top of that, right? So it's a hard enough job in normal times. But I mean, as we're watching him threatening to send in the National Guard to Illinois, no respect for like the law as it stands. Like you can't bound yourself within some confines of like, well, he won't do that because it's illegal. Like, how are you thinking about preparing for the job itself in terms of having this threat looming over it?
You have to prepare for the inevitability of Donald Trump to continue being Donald Trump. We cannot, as you've said, rely on any notion of the law or what is appropriate for how he will determine his course of actions. And I look at California as an example, such that we are ready here in New York City on January 1st with a plan of partnership across city and state government to be ready, whether it's for the deployment of the National Guard or it's for his attempt to pass legislation like the one he just did, which will take an axe to so much of what keeps so many New Yorkers afloat. And I think we've seen what New York City can gain if we have a mayor who is willing to collaborate with Donald Trump, which is not that much at all. We've had money directly taken out of bank accounts. We've had a 6-year-old public school student from Jackson Heights being deported. This is what we have when you want to work with Donald Trump. We've seen what it looks like to manage Donald Trump, which is what we see in Andrew Cuomo. We need someone who's actually willing to fight Donald Trump. And we've seen examples of that right here in New York with Kathy Hochul. We've seen examples of that in California. It's time to have that in City Hall.
You have not yet received an endorsement from Hakeem Jeffries, who, of course, is the highest ranking member of Congress and a member of the New York delegation. I know you've met 4 times. Kathy Hochul has not officially endorsed yet, if I'm not mistaken. You would have to work with both those individuals quite closely. Are you confident that should you win, those are going to be solid relationships?
Absolutely. And so many of the conversations we've had have been about the importance of partnership, because New Yorkers have grown tired at the ways in which Albany and City Hall were at war when Andrew Cuomo was leading the state. They want leaders who understand that they have the same constituents in New York City and they have to serve those constituents. And one thing I've appreciated through all of these conversations is the question of how do we deliver affordability to the residents of the most expensive city?
In a both political move, New York City mayoral frontrunner Zohran Mamdani has directly challenged President Donald Trump to a televised debate, accusing the White House of meddling in the mayoral race and saying, "Let's cut out the middleman." Madam slammed Trump already behind-the-scene influence and offered a head-to-head confrontation instead. As the city political tension intensifies, this challenge chose a major white card into the race. But so far so good, the White House hasn't responded yet.
Okay guys, welcome back to my social commentary. I hope you all are doing good anywhere you are watching this video. And if today is your first time of coming across our video, do well to subscribe to our channel and tell us what you think about this video in the comment section. You're welcome.
Aisha, good evening. Breaking tonight, the New York Times is reporting that former Governor David Paterson, a confidant of New York City Mayor Eric Adams, says that privately Adams acknowledges that the odds of winning are long and that he is listening to other alternatives. Adams and the Republican nominee Curtis Sliwa are polling third and in last place, respectively. Tonight, both Adams and Sliwa, though, are denying reports that they are considering jobs from the Trump administration to drop out.
Just because a number of people ask you to step down or don't do what you believe you're supposed to do, you're supposed to succumb to that? That's not what I do.
You can't bribe me, you can't lease me, you can't rent me, you can't motivate me to leave this race.
The White House reportedly believes that former Governor Andrew Cuomo has the best shot of defeating Mamdani. New York billionaire John Catsimatidis says the president told him Sunday he wants to see candidates drop out by the end of the next 10 days.
President Trump is from New York. He's a New Yorker. He loves New York, and he's concerned. I believe that things will happen in the month of September.
Amid Trump's efforts to stop Mamdani, progressive New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is urging Democratic Party leaders Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer to finally endorse the Democratic Socialists.
I supported Joe Biden when he was the nominee. He was not my preferred candidate in the primary. Once we have a nominee, we rally behind that nominee. I am very concerned about the example that is being set.
Also breaking tonight, the New York Times and the New York Post both reporting that Adams secretly met with Steve Witkoff, the senior advisor and special envoy to President Trump, on a trip to Florida. Also tonight, Mamdani is now challenging President Trump to a debate, saying, quote, if Trump is serious about intervening in the mayoral race, he should come to New York City and debate me directly. Aisha?
We'll see what the president has to say about that. Brian Yennis live for us in New York City. Brian, thank you.
Breaking news, Zohran Mamdani officially challenged President Trump to a debate. On September 4th on X, Zohran Mamdani said he would bypass the other mayoral candidates to challenge President Trump. This would be so good for Zohran Mamdani. Why? Number one, Zohran is an excellent communicator. He has the ability to synthesize really wonky policy ideas into bite-sized, digestible phrases that people can clearly understand. Now, although President Trump has a similar communication style, his phrasing does not come from a place of substance. It comes from name-calling, right, poor policy, and just antiquated ideas. In addition, Zohran Mamdani would be so good on the debate stage, right? And the fact that he is quick, he's sharp, and he can frame things in a way that supports progressive policies. Whereas President Trump, he just likes to take control of attention, which isn't exactly the same thing, but doesn't necessarily lend his case to his policy agenda. Most importantly, the optics would be so good for Zohran, but so bad for President Trump. Now, we know Trump isn't good in debates, right? We have plenty of experience to show that. But it's the fact that now Trump being on the defense, we would quickly see that there may be some wrinkles in his plans. One of the oldest serving presidents, a young millennial progressive candidate for New York City mayor, Democratic candidate, right? This would allow Zohran to share his fresh ideas, which aligns very closely with the popular policies that Americans actually support. Trump would have such a hard time combating this from a policy standpoint, from a communication standpoint, and honestly, the optics would not do him any good. We all heard about the, JFK versus Richard Nixon debate back in the 60s, which eventually led JFK to the presidency. So, that being said, I could definitely see something very similar going on here. Not that Zohran would run for president, but the idea that Zohran's policies and his ideas would strengthen his candidacy for New York City mayor, and honestly, this would move America in the right direction. I cannot wait for this to happen. I really hope it does. I hope you do too. Let me know who you think would win. Share in the comments. Share this with a friend. And remember, subscribe to Not Suitable for Democracy.
As Zohran Mamdani doubles down on his fiery challenge, New Yorkers and the nation worldwide are watching closely. If President Donald Trump will accept, this could become one of the most explosive political debates of our time, putting the future of New York and the national politics on the line. But if the White House stays silent, Mamdani may score a major political win without even stepping onto the debate stage. One thing is clear, this is a showdown and is about more than just words. It's about power, influence, and who really controls the future of America's biggest city.
Yo guys, thank you for watching our video. We really appreciate it. And if today is your first time coming across our channel, do well to subscribe to our channel and tell us what you think about this video in the comment section. You're welcome.